Okay, in this video, we're going to show you how to use the different type of selection tools to cut out, basically cut out things out of your images to reuse or move around or make copies of. In this image is just a picture of my ugly mug. Say I just wanted to cut out a square. You can come over your selection tools over here. So you have your marquee tool, elliptical marquee tool, and these two bottom ones, the single row marquee and the single column, I have never even used those. I just had no use for them. Alright, lasso tool, polygonal lasso tool, magnetic lasso tool. Lasso tool I use a lot, polygonal lasso tool I use occasionally. And then in this one, you have your quick selection tool, your magic wand tool, and your object selection tool. Alright, so just going for the basics, the ones I use most, quick selection tool, magic wand tool, and lasso tool. Alright, but we'll start off at the top, rectangular marquee tool. Okay, make sure you're on the layer that you're gonna do the selection on first, obviously. Alright, so we have our rectangular marquee tool. If we just hold down our left mouse and drag, it's gonna select this part of the image. Alright, so if we wanted to select the outside, we would have to invert the selection. So you can do that a couple different ways. Go up to Select and click Inverse, and that will select this part, okay? Or you can just hit Control-Shift-I, and that will invert, okay? So say we wanted to just use this square part on a new layer. This selection has this selected. If you hit Control-J, it's going to make a new layer with just what you selected. Alright, so that'll come in useful. Alright, so we'll go ahead and just delete this layer. Let's highlight the layer, hit delete on our keyboard. Go back to this, and we'll go ahead and go to the elliptical marquee tool, which basically does the same thing. But in an oval or circular shape. Okay, if you hold down Shift while you're dragging, it's going to be a perfect circle. Okay, let go of Shift, you can change it into ovals. Alright, so say we had this, we made this selection here, but we missed the top of my bald head here. Alright, so we would want to add to selection, right? So up here are a few different options here. This is going to, every time you hold down your mouse, it's going to make a new selection. Okay. Let's go back to about how we had it before. We want to add to the selection, so we're going to click on this one right here as Add to Selection. So it will keep this selection, but it adds in what you select. Okay, and that will come in handy also. Alright, so once we have this selected like this, like so, we can also use these other selection tools to add or subtract. Alright, so we have our lasso tool here. Lasso tool will actually do a free transform. So wherever you drag, it's going to make that selection. Okay. Say we wanted to get rid of this part of the selection. Okay, you could come up here and go on Subtract from Selection. That would work. However, the easier way to do that is just hold down Alt. You hold down Alt and you drag what you want to get rid of, and boom. Okay. We went a little too far here, so we're on our plus already, so we can just add to it. Add this. Add all that. Add some more, add some more. You can really refine your selections by using the different types of tools here. Alright, so we're not going to use this selection, so to deselect, you can come up here and go to Select, Deselect if you wanted to, or you can select something and just hit Control D. Control D is in dog. That's the keyboard shortcut. Okay, so that's pretty simple there. All right, so your polygonal lasso tool, you can just basically draw a shape, and it'll just keep straight lines basically. All right, Control D gets rid of the selection. Magnetic. You hold down your left mouse and go around your subject. It's going to act like a magnet and get close. All right, Control D will deselect. We're not going to use that. Ones I use a lot. Object Selection Tool is new. I have this in this Photoshop is Photoshop CC 2020. So you have the Object Selection Tool. You click on that. You drag around your subject. And it's going to think a minute. And I got it pretty close. That's a really good selection. All right, so you can use your Object Selection Tool. Control D will deselect. Go back in here. You can go with Quick Selection Tool. Now your Quick Selection Tool kind of works like a brush. All right, so if you hold down your left mouse and drag, it will go around your subject pretty good. All right, so say it didn't get my bushy eyebrow right here a little bit. We're still on add selection, so you could just hit a little bump there. Our brush is really big, so it's going to select a lot of it. So let's undo that by hitting Alt. Okay, let's change our brush size. And if you watch the brush video, changing your brush size, left bracket will make it smaller, right back bracket will make it larger. And then we can just kind of go like this, kind of go again. And the smaller you make your brush when you're in these little details, will help you out a lot. Okay, that's too much there, so we'll hit minus. And you can zoom. If you zoom and make it larger, you can really get in there. Let's make our brush super small. And you get the hang of it. Alright, so let's make sure that's still on the plus. Let's go ahead and deselect, Control D. You can also use the Magic Wand tool. Alright, so your Magic Wand tool basically will pick colors. Alright, so this was against a wall, and it's basically, it's kind of all the same color, but it's not. My tolerance is 32, anti-alias and contiguous are checked. Okay, make sure those are checked when you're first starting using that. If you just click on it, it's going to kind of select that color. Okay, make sure we're on Add. Click again over here, and it will basically select colors or colors close to that. Okay. But that selected the outside, so if we wanted to make a copy of what we just selected, hit Control J, it would make a copy of the outside. Okay, exactly what we selected. Alright, we can Control Z, undo. Okay, if we wanted to get just me, the shortcut to that, Control Shift I, and that will invert the selection. Control J will make a copy, and there I am right there. Okay, so those are a couple different ways to use the selection tools. Say I had this image and I wanted to just have a black background. You know, I made my selection, I made the copy by using Control J. I came down here and just went to solid color and made red or black. Hit OK. Drag it underneath the selection. There you are on a different background.